IVC, Dale Gatefell 33 here. So this is a contest entry for Rob Walker. So Rob has put a contest out to celebrate his 2 years in the VC. So congratulations, Rob. I really enjoy Rob's videos. He's one of the UK contingent, shows a lot of the UK sort of up and coming UK music, sometimes influenced by his son, I think, yeah, so a lot of stuff from the north, and has put me onto a lot of new artists over the last couple of years. So yeah, always look forward to his videos and enjoyed vicariously living the car boot sale life this year when there were no car boot sales in my area and Rob was getting out to a few. So I enjoyed seeing what he found, as I wasn't able to find things myself. So yeah, So what Rob's asked us to do is to come up with 5 artists who we wish we'd seen live. I think I've overthought this a little bit. So what am I going to? So I've come up with five artists, and kind of when I would have liked to have seen them, and then some artists that I thought I would have liked to have seen, but when I thought about it, maybe I wouldn't. That makes no sense. So first I'm going to show this is Pink Floyd. So I debated on this one. This is Pink Floyd doing The Wall live 1980 to 1981. So what I debated on this is, when would I have liked to have seen Pink Floyd, because they are my favourite band. Would I've liked to have seen them in the UFO Club in 1967 with Syd Barrett, and I would have been there, sat on the floor in the UFO Club with the swirly colours going on, partaking in whatever you partake of at that time, and experience that way, or this. And I chose this because I got into Pink Floyd in 1979 when I was 13. I got into sort of like proper music, non-pop music at that point, and I could have potentially gone to this. So this came back for its sort of second UK leg in June of 81. I'd have been 14 and a half. Potentially I could have gone to this if I'd thought about it, but I didn't, and I didn't. So I have seen Roger Waters do The Wall live at the O2, so I've kind of had the experience, albeit on a much smaller scale, with a kind of light show and everything. But I've seen it at the O2, that Roger Waters doing the Wall live, so that was something at least. So that's my first. Second, what's second? So second is Fairport Convention. So I really love the 1969 era 3 albums Sandy Denny led version of Fairport Convention. So for this, it would have been 1969 at the Royal Festival Hall, just after Legion Leaf, their third of that trilogy of 1969 Sandy Denny led albums came out. They performed to a sellout crowd at the Royal Festival Hall. So for me, I would have been there at the Royal Festival Hall, experiencing that incarnation of Fairport Convention, being able to pull from all the different songs from those 3 albums. And so that would have been a big-ish. So, and also what I considered in this is kind of what's the scale. So the Pink Floyd The Wall, I would have wanted to see the mammoth scale, full light show, big effect, I think, to get the story and the impact. This would have been a reasonably big, but probably still fairly intimate show for Fairport Convention. Moving on, next, another regret. Leonard Cohen, when he kind of when his personal assistant walked off with all his money, and he was forced to go out on the road in later life was incredibly successful. I love this set, 2008, the O2 in London. So I would have loved to have been there. Again, a regret. So as I said, Leonard Cohen was forced to kind of continuously tour for a few years to kind of get his pension fund back. I said after it was stolen, and I could have therefore, I've been into Leonard Cohen, but not as much as in later life, and I kind of had decided next time I'm going to go and see him, and unfortunately he passed away, so there was no next time. So yeah, he who hesitates and all that. So yeah, 2008 at the O2. This is a fantastic concert, and I'm sure if I could have got somewhere near the middle front, I'd have really enjoyed it. So number 4, change of gear completely, is Otis Redding live in Europe, 1967, Paris. This is I think this was recorded in Paris, 1967. It sounds a really energetic, sweaty, enjoyable, everyone up, rocking out to Otis, and Otis is really on good form in this album. So, and obviously I think this was the last and only live album released during his lifetime, would have liked to have been at this concert. And then finally, Rolling Stones. Sticky Fingers is my favourite Rolling Stones album. So this, Live at the Marquee, 1971, features a number of tracks from the Sticky Fingers album. So would have liked to have been, and the Marquee, that would have been a fairly intimate affair, quite a small affair. So would have been good to have seen the Rolling Stones in that kind of incarnation at that time, in that venue. I think I would prefer that maybe to a later sort of more recent concert of them kind of churning out the hits. I think seeing them do Sticky Fingers tracks when Sticky Fingers was coming out, I think would have been what I would have wanted. So there are the 5. So what I've also thought about is there's some artists that I would have expected to have included perhaps. So I didn't include Kate Bush because I've seen Kate Bush. Luckily, I managed to get a ticket to the 2014 shows that she put on before the Dawn stuff. So that was, and if I never ever see another live performance again, the fact that I saw Kate Bush in 2014 is enough for me. Obviously, I'd like to see some live acts in the future. But I was thinking, like Nick Drake, as an example. I would have thought, oh yeah, I'd love to have seen Nick Drake. But then I thought, well, Nick Drake, he was painfully shy and hated performing. So would I have enjoyed seeing Nick Drake performing, not enjoying being there performing? I don't know. So probably not. So kind of like, oh yeah, strike that one off the list. I struggled with the Kinks and Bowie. I've just put a video out with the Kinks or Beatles sprung to mind, but all of their live stuff seems to be recorded during that screaming period that seemed to be the trend of girls screaming, and you can't hear the music. So the Kinks and Bowie, Kinks and Beatles, sorry, I wouldn't probably have enjoyed. I saw in Maz's video, he said, well, maybe go back to Hamburg and see them there, and that brought up another thing that in my mind about this whole live experience is, it would have been good to see the Beatles in Hamburg, but then you've been going, play Day in the Life, and they'd be going, what are you talking about? We haven't written that yet, in 1962. So it's interesting to think about, particularly when you see live concerts, videos of live concerts, and you think, well, why didn't they play that? Well, because they hadn't written it at that point that concert was recorded. So you also have to. This is where I overthought this. You know, you think about if you're going to see an artist at a point in time, if you've got some favourite music and they haven't written it, then you're not going to hear that. Right, I'll stop rambling at that point. And so the other thing, just to finish off, was two other acts. XTC, with Andy Partridge hating performing or being staged, having stage fright. The XTC that I like is after the point at which they were touring, or the XTC I most like. I like all XTC. So Ken, would I have wanted to see XTC? That was a debatable one, actually, because I still would have liked to have seen XTC probably. And then David Bowie. Yeah, because he had so many incarnations, and I've got so much live material of David Bowie. I just couldn't choose. I just couldn't choose one, so I decided not to include him. Right, so there. Sorry, that's a load of waffle at the end there, but yeah. So good luck with the contest, Rob, and yeah, keep making videos, and look forward to many more years. Cheers, bye.